And the other issue, the other answer that they had, trying to make it into a racial thing, was to say, well, we need to have more black police officers in communities that have a higher percentage of blacks in the police department. And yet, with Eric Garner, the entire process of him being choked to death there on the sidewalk was overseen by a female black officer who was watching that as it happened. So clearly, having more black police officers, having more cameras, that's not really going to solve anything. Let's go to Chris in Texas. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm a first-time caller. Glad to get in. I wanted to talk about I've done some research over the last, 4 or 5 years or so. Had a lot of disinformation and finally kind of connected the dots. I've seen some videos in the past, but one that really kind of explains everything in detail is a gentleman by the name of Kurt Kallenbach, I believe. And it's called Season of Treason, where he goes into detail, explains how it's under the United States corporation and not, they're not working for the United States for the people. It's all legal terms listed under persons, gets into your DNA, your birth certificate, and explains why Obama, you can have a president from Japan. He doesn't have to be a U.S. citizen because he's a CEO of the corporation.
Yeah, I think instead of calling it Washington, D.C., we ought to call it Washington, INC, Washington, Inc. Absolutely. When you're talking about season of treason, I mean, this is the time of year, actually, too, when they ram everything through. We get the NDAA, where they have indefinite detention of American citizens without trial. They passed that on a New Year's Eve. We say they rammed through Obamacare on a Christmas Eve. And then, of course, everything that they just did to us this last week, they pushed that through in the very last minute so they could all go home. And, of course, funded it not just until the next year, but funded it for an entire year. Let's go to, thank you, Chris. Let's go to JJ in Kansas. JJ, you want to talk about Australia?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I got 2 questions. The first question is in regards to the Australia deal. I haven't been following I've been hearing it, but I haven't gotten too much detail myself investigating about it. But what I have heard kind of makes me wonder if this could be like sort of a false flag, with the shooter dead, which that's mainly always the case. But with the shooter dead, and then with the witness putting out in the media, I could be wrong.
Well, go ahead.
Putting out in the media, hey, this is an ISIS attack. Trying to draw attention to ISIS.
Let's get Paul's comment on this, because Paul said that he thought it was curious that the media narrative was essentially moving away from trying to tie it into ISIS for the time being and trying to deny that there was any connection with Islamicism or jihadis or ISIS or anything like that, that it's just the work of one lone criminal. Go ahead, Paul.
Well, what I also found interesting was, and this may be another reason why the media and the authorities are not so keen to kind of generate any story about this perpetrator that suggests political motive and that he was just mentally ill, lone nut, is the fact that he was given political asylum by the Australian government in 1996. And then in 2001, he was kind of a poster child for Australia's ABC network in demonizing Iran, because he claimed that his life was under threat from the Iranian government. That's how he got into Australia in the first place. So they kind of used him as a poster child back in 2001. Now he's very anti-Assad. So that obviously doesn't fit with their narrative right now. So that might be another reason why they're keen to distance themselves from him having political motivation, because they were closely affiliated with him, the Australian government and the media, back in 2001, when his political opinions were useful for their narrative.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it certainly looked like he was doing everything he could to say that his motivation was some kind of a Islamic jihad when he had them hold the sign up in the window. Let's go to James in South Carolina. James?
Hi, David.
Hey.
I wanted to talk about torture for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I keep seeing the narrative and the discussion orbit around, is torture effective in gathering information, and does it prevent attacks, save lives, that kind of thing? Which I don't think torture has anything to do with that. I think torture is about provoking terror in a population.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why you release somebody after they're tortured.
That's right.
So they will go back and they'll say to everybody, this is what they do to me. And everybody's going to say, oh, we can't mess with them. We can't stand up to them. look what they did to Joe. Or
Oh, absolutely.
And,
I absolutely agree. And if you look at some of the, of course, some of the torture ranged from attacking people's dignity to outright killing them and everything in between. But I think the key part of that is even at the bottom end of the spectrum, to humiliate people, to, as I said before, to take away their dignity, then you take away their freedom, then you can take their lives. And I think, as you pointed out, this is about intimidating American citizens. I think it's very clear if you look at Feinstein's report, she had like 20 different key findings. Every single one of them said the CIA did this, the CIA did that, CIA didn't do this, and they should have. There was nothing there except excuses for the administration, excuses for the Senate, who should have been shutting this down, who should have had oversight, yet they put in her report that they had absolutely no responsibility to this whatsoever. It was something that the CIA did. And your conclusion has to come to the fact that, well, if the CIA can do this and pull the hood over everybody and not get punished, I guess the CIA is the real government. We'll be right back with your calls. We have Paul Joseph Watson from the UK. Stay with us.
This hour of GCN programming is proudly sponsored by BlockitPocket.com. Protect your privacy and data and render your phone or device completely undetectable. Go under the radar when your phone's not in use with BlockitPocket.com.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. SilverLungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at SilverLungs.com. That's SilverLungs.com.
Digestive health is key to wellness, and Pro-EM1 is the key to digestive health. Pro-EM1 is a daily liquid probiotic that improves food absorption and supports weight loss by removing toxins from your system. Recommended by doctors, Pro-EM1 is 100% natural, organic, non-GMO, wheat, soy, gluten, and dairy-free. Call us today at 888-611-8025 or visit ProEM1.com to save over $25 on your order. That's 888-611-8025 or PROEM1.com.
Hey, Boomer! I learned in school today that 60% of our bodies are made of water. Good thing we have the Berkey system. It's the cleanest, best water ever. Mom says it's because the Berkey's filtration system cleans out the bad stuff and leaves only pure, delicious water. I know, right? You love it too. Yeah, I'm thirsty too. Let's go get some. Get Berkey clean water by calling 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Or visit GoBerkey.com.
It's very easy to be a criminal. All you need to burglarize a home is one simple household tool, a pair of scissors. If your home security system can be compromised by a criminal using scissors, then you're making it easy for them. Almost every home security system, even those sold by big-name companies, has a weakness. The phone line. You shell out $1,500, get locked into a long-term contract, and think you're safe. But a burglar can destroy your alarm in seconds with one snip. And when a burglar cuts your phone line, you're defenseless. Simply Safe Home Security is the smarter choice. Built by Harvard engineers, Simply Safe uses a wireless connection to call the cops. Scissors can't cut it. And that means your home stays safe. 24/7 professional monitoring is under $15 a month with no contract. Simply Safe Home Security keeps you safer than the other guys for half the cost. Protect your home with the alarm you can trust. Simply Safe. Go to simplysafedefense.com now for an exclusive 10% offer. That's simplysafedefense.com.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, your host today, and joining us from the UK is Paul Joseph Watson, and we're going to go right back to your calls in a moment. But this article just came out on Infowars.com. Despite Australia's gun control, a gunman holds hostages for 16 hours. You get that? One of the most rigid gun control regimes on the planet, and yet this guy, who had 22 counts of aggravated sexual assault previously, 14 counts of aggravated indecent assault previously, related to 6 different women, this guy is able to get a gun and he's able to hold these hostages for 16 hours, 2 of them dying. Paul, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I made a series of tweets about that, and there were several incidents, I believe, back in the late 80s, early 90s, which the authorities exploited to ban all guns in Australia. Of course, their violent crime rate went up.
Yes.
And now, you know, my thought was, if this happened in Texas, would it have gone on for 16 hours? Would not one of the store owners have had access to some kind of gun? So it's definitely an issue. It's one that liberals get enraged about when you even mention it, but it's definitely a factor.
And it's interesting because this guy has had all these instances before attacking women and that sort of thing. One of them, one woman was stabbed to death and set on fire. They say in 2002 he faced charges in a plot to murder his first wife in Sydney. And she was stabbed to death. She wasn't shot. And yet this guy who has all of these, this long rap sheet, he's not having any problem getting a gun in Australia. That should tell us something about gun control, as well as the fact that he's totally in charge for 16 hours. Let's go back, take a couple of quick calls. Let's try to get everybody off here before the end of the show. Let's go to Patton in FEMA Region 4. Patton, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, David. How many more acts of treason, murder, theft, fraud, and rape by Barry Soetoro, a.k.a. Barry Obama, a.k.a. closet communist Barack Obama, must we endure before we arrest him? Find a way, something?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the bottom line is, as we pointed out, clearly the GOP leadership doesn't have a problem with what he's doing either. I mean, it isn't just that you're going to get rid of Obama and then have him be replaced by Joe Biden. Even if we replace him with the Republicans, we're going to get more of the same. Your comments, Paul?
Well, the Republicans are not going to impeach him. I mean, that's a fact now. They're going to wait. We're probably going to see Hillary Clinton run against a Republican, if not Elizabeth Warren, which is just another brand of the same poison. So they're going to be quite accepting to the fact that Hillary's come in, and then instead of race, they're going to use gender to divide the country once more. So we could be in for another 4 years of that.
Yeah, they not only did not impeach him, but they basically endorsed his policies in this last budget. Couple of weeks after they were elected to undo specific things, they go back and endorse those. So they don't have a problem with his criminal activities. They want that power when they get in charge. And so the question remains, you know, what do we do about it? I clearly don't have an answer. It's a very frustrating situation, but we still need to pay attention as to what's going on. And we need to, I think, a key part of this is more people need to be informed and involved about this. It's an educational issue. I think we need a broader base before we're going to see any kind of solution come up, especially a peaceful solution, which is what we want to see. Let's go to Robert in Tennessee. Robert?
Hello.
Hey,
How
go
are
ahead.
you?
Doing good. Go ahead.
Hey, Paul, I live in Millersville, Tennessee, where that happened with the 3 Arabian guys with the baby.
Oh, yeah, where they had the baby in the trunk, they said, the dead baby in the trunk?
Yes. Yes, sir. And I got some news for you. That little town here that we live in, the citizens here are up in arms over this. You hadn't heard anything else about it in the media or anything like that, because they have completely squashed this.
That's right.
This little town will search your car at the drop of a hat, literally.
But they'll let these guys go when they say they've got a dead baby in the trunk simply because they're Saudis. I'm sorry, that's all the time we've got. Thank you for joining us from the UK, Paul Joseph Watson. Join us tomorrow at 11 Central, noon Eastern.
GCN,
Thank you, Paul.
Genesis Communications Radio Network.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put 2 and 2 together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with Super Male or Super Female Vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.